In this tutorial, we look at the block. The block is a very important part in the 3D CAD world. Its simple geometry makes it versatile and indispensable for complex models. Now you will learn different methods of creating a block in Pytha and how to work with it. Press the Axo button to show the axonometric view. Then switch to the Parts menu. To do this, either press this button in the icon bar or the Parts button in the vertical menu. Activate the Block function in the Parts menu. The input prompt appears. The part properties are queried here one after the other. First, the position must be defined. At this point, the new part will be created. Either enter the coordinates using the keyboard or simply left-click anywhere in the project. A small orange star is displayed to confirm that the start position has been set. If you do not pick on existing geometry, the start position always ends up automatically in the base plane, in other words, at 0 height. The question about the lengths appears next. Enter the desired lengths parallel to the X, Y, and Z axes. The numbers are separated by a comma. For example, if you want to create a block that is 38 millimeters parallel to the X-axis, 200 millimeters parallel to the Y-axis, and 300 millimeters parallel to the Z-axis, enter the following on the keyboard: 38, 200, 300. As soon as you confirm the entry with the Enter key, Pytha creates the corresponding block. We will now create a copy of the block using the Copy command. The command is explained in detail in a separate tutorial and can be found in Part Tools 1 menu. Open the Part Tools 1 menu either with this icon in the icon bar or with the Part Tools 1 button in the vertical menu. Activate the Copy function here. Enter 250 and press the Enter key. Pytha now asks how many copies you need. Enter 1 and press the Enter key. Now we want to fit a third block exactly between the two existing blocks. To do this, switch back to the Parts menu in the vertical menu and press the Block button again. The input prompt appears again and asks for the position of the new block. Use the left mouse button to pick the bottom right-hand corner of the left-hand block. The following appears in the input prompt: lengths. We do not know the exact dimensions of the new block, but that is not a problem. As we have picked the start position here at the front, we can now simply pick the diagonally opposite corner point. As the picked diagonal runs across the 3D space, this automatically results in the dimensions parallel to the X, Y, and Z axis. I undo the last step by clicking on the Undo icon. I start the Block command again and pick the start position at the same place. When Pytha asked about the lengths, this time I picked the lower rear point of the second block. As the picked diagonal now does not run across the 3D space, but only in one plane, we are missing the dimension parallel to the Z-axis. A dialog appears in which we enter this at LZ. Repeat the steps described for the upper area of the blocks. If you enter a positive numerical value for LZ again, the new block will grow in a positive Z direction. Alternatively, you can enter a negative value to make the block grow in a negative direction. We now rotate the view with the right mouse button so that we are looking at the back of our construction. Again, we pick two existing points to define the position and the lengths. Again, the picked diagonal runs in a plane and not in 3D space. We therefore need to add another dimension in the block dialog. When entering the dimensions, make sure that a positive or negative value makes sense. I will now use the middle mouse button to move the current view a little to the side and show you another method for creating blocks in Pytha. By the way, you can also start the block command simply by pressing the Q key on your keyboard. Blocks can also be drawn interactively. When the question about the position appears, hold down the left mouse button and draw the base of the block. As soon as you release the mouse button, the size of the base area is confirmed. You must now define the height of the block. To do this, simply move the mouse in the desired direction. Left-click to confirm the current height. If you are in a 2D view when drawing blocks interactively, the missing third block length is requested via the block dialog. Enter this using the keyboard and confirm with Enter. You can change the size of blocks at any time. Numerous tools are available for this purpose. However, you can also simply double-click on an edge of the block with the left mouse button. This small dialog appears. Overwrite the dimensions with the desired values. Use the sliders next to the numerical values to define the direction in which the block grows or shrinks. I use the Undo button to undo the last steps and save the small construction under the name Block. Thank you very much for your attention and see you at our next tutorial.